The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
Thank you. My question is for the Premier. The Human Rights Commission Street Checks report was released over 2 weeks ago and was an overdue affirmation of the black community's long-standing position that street checks are discriminatory. Dr. Wortley's report says, in fact, that police engage in forms of statistical discrimination that can have a profound impact on policing outcomes. Mr. Speaker, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms is very clear. Every individual is equal before and under the law without discrimination based on race. So I want to ask the Premier of the province, does he agree that the practice of street checks here is a violation of the charter rights of the black community of Nova Scotia?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Honourable for the question. Mr. Speaker, when the report was issued, the Minister of Justice sent directives to law enforcement agencies across our province that street checks should not be a matter of course as part of going through the regular routine of policing. He also said that he would do further analysis that's ongoing, and I know the Minister of Justice, who has been out meeting with members of the community, Mr. Speaker, will have more to say on this issue.
The Honourable Leader of the New Democratic Party.
The report calls the legality of street checks into question and concludes that the province should either ban them altogether or strongly regulate them to improve the practice. In the latter case, Dr. Wortley says this: the government of Nova Scotia should consider a moratorium on street checks until this regulation is developed and implemented. Mr. Speaker, during budget estimates, members of the black community came here to listen to the Minister of Justice be questioned on this issue. Tara Taylor, who has been street checked 42 times, was here, and she told reporters that a ban would be a start, and she said it would send a very big message to the community. So I'd like to ask the Premier, is he going to ban the practice of street checks, or at the very least, implement the moratorium Dr. Wortley calls for?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Honourable for his question. You would know we've taken this issue very seriously. Upon receiving the report, the Minister of Justice made a number of directives to law enforcement agencies across our province to no longer have street checks as part of their daily way of doing policing. The honourable member would also know the Minister of Justice, in his entire time being there, when he's received reports, has taken them under and thoroughly reviewed them and come back with a recommendation on how to best implement that. And I want to as well thank the member from Cole Harbour, Mr. Speaker, who continues to make sure that his experience in this province, Mr. Speaker, that is different than ours, continues to be reflected at the cabinet table and when policy decisions are being made. And I want to assure the members of the African Nova Scotia community that our government takes this issue very seriously, and we will continue to work with them to ensure that they get treated as equals inside of this province, not just in the justice system.